Pest infestation? Call Bugman, because when you see red, bugs are dead.
All right, we're back. We're going to break down James Madison and Liberty. We're going to do a JMU and a Liberty breakdown on this. This probably won't be too long. It's just two teams we're going to break down. So we'll start with JMU. JMU last year, 9-4. Bowl game win over Western Kentucky. Man, they lost a lot. Bob Chesney's first year after Cignetti left. This last year was the first year that they didn't win the East. I guess that is. I mean, so we've got a little bit of a question mark on JMU. I know I heard Greg and the guys on the show, they took the over, I believe. As of right now, their win total is 8.5 for JMU. I mean, here they've got 7 returning starters, both on offense and defense combined. 7. They had some injuries. The quarterback got hurt the last play of the regular season. Barnett, he had thrown for basically 2,600 yards and then got hurt. Now they did go and get Matthew Sluka, who was with Chesney at Holy Cross, and they also bought in the Coleman kid that had a really good career at Richmond. So. Bringing all that in tells me that Barnett is probably not going to be ready early on, if at all, for him to be able to come back. So I would say the Holy Cross kid, the Sluka kid, would probably have the advantage just because he played for Chesney before. So if they can get that going, that might be a good thing. They do have 2 starters back on the line, offensive line. But then they're pretty much replacing everybody else on offense, so it's going to be tough. On defense, they got the big boy Bush up front. He's good. He'll be back. They got a middle linebacker that's pretty good. In the spring, I think they caught a little bit of a surprise when Chancey Logan, the kid from Salem, decided to transfer out. I think that caught him off guard. So they're going to be a little bit. They're going to be a little bit young there in the secondary also. They have 4 back on defense, starting-wise. The schedule is not terrible. They do play at Louisville. They do play at Liberty back-to-back in game 2 and 3. Washington State, this oddly, is coming to JMU at near the end of November 22nd. But to me, the way that schedule falls, 8.5, I would have to take the under right now. I would take 8-4 for this team, and that's not a knock. That's not a knock on the team. That's what they did last year, and to me, they had a little bit more talent. I think they probably lose at Louisville. I think they probably lose the Washington State game. And then there's a stretch where they play Louisiana, Old Dominion, at Texas State, at Marshall, App State, Washington State. So for that reason, I'm going to take the under on them, 8.5. I think they'll probably come in at about 8. They could surprise me. They very well could surprise me. I just think they got some injuries and a little too many unknowns for me to go over there. I think they'll be good. I think there's still a possibility at 8-4 to win the East, because if 2 of those 4 are Washington State and Louisville, and could be Liberty, who knows? I mean, that's 3 of the 4 that would be outside of the conference. So I think they still win the conference. I just think 8-4 to me seems like a little bit more realistic view of what they're looking at this year. So I'll take the under there. Now we're going to go into Liberty. Okay, what do we know about Liberty? Well, Chadwell's back. This is his 3rd year. Came over from Coastal Carolina. we just finished with JMU, and Liberty is pretty much the same. They have 2 offensive returners. They have 5 on defense. Defensively, is going to have to carry them earlier in the year. But I will say this: they very well could be favored in all 12 games this year. Their win total is 9.5. That's a big number, especially since they lost. They lost the quarterback Salter. He transferred to Colorado. Then they lost the Cooley kid, the running back. They lost him. He tried to go pro on them. They brought in the quarterback that was at Coastal Carolina last year. He was at Coastal. I guess that's Chadwell had recruited him there before he came to Liberty, so he brought him in. So in terms of knowledge and knowing each other, that should be good. They do have 2 offensive linemen back. That's a plus. They're going to have to lean on that defense early on, I think, for them to get to where they're going. But again, I think they might be favored in all 12 games. 9.5. I'm going to say Liberty over. I like Liberty over that 10. I mean, they have by far one of the weakest schedules that's out there. One of the weakest schedules in the country. So from that standpoint, I think that looks good for 10. Now, it happened in 23. They did it, and they went 13-1 or 12-1, whatever. And then last year, the same thing. They had a really weak schedule, and they stumbled, ended up losing 3 during the regular season, 1 in the bowl. But I think they'll be. I think they'll bounce back. I think that game, the 4th game for them is JMU at home. That'll be interesting. I think that'll tell a tale on these win totals, on which one gets over and which one doesn't. But again, Liberty keeps playing these weak schedules, and I think after seeing in 2023 when they went and played Oregon and got destroyed, I think they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt anymore, because and we haven't got into this anywhere else, but I'll just say who you play matters. People that are going out here and getting weak schedules so they can go 10, 11, 12, 12-0, 11-1. I mean, sooner or later you're going to see some of those teams that get snubbed from getting into the college football playoff, just from the simple fact of you're playing a weak schedule. So I got just a recap. I got JMU under their win total of 8.5, and I've got Liberty over theirs at 9.5. And that game that they finally play each other, 3rd or 4th game for Liberty. I think it might be the 3rd game for JMU, but that's good. That'll be a little rivalry. I like that. We'll see you on the next one.